someone in your life has lied to you, maybe this week, maybe today, and something happened in your body before your brain even caught up. Your chest tightened. Your face got hot. You wanted more than almost anything to tell someone else. That urge is not new. That urge is older than language itself. For most of human history, lying wasn't just rude. It was dangerous. Deadly, even. Your ancestors lived in small bands of 20 to 50 people. And every single one of those people depended on the others being honest about where the food was, where the predators were, who could be trusted to share the kill. A lie wasn't a social faux pas. It was a threat to survival. So the question isn't just what did ancient humans do when someone lied. The question is, what did they build inside you to make sure it almost never happened? Start with the obvious. There were no police, no courts, no prisons. If someone in your ancestral band deceived the group, there was no third party to call. The group was the law. And anthropologists who study modern hunter-gatherer societies, groups that live closest to how humans live for tens of thousands of years, have watched this play out again and again. Christopher Boehm, an anthropologist at the University of Southern California, spent decades studying egalitarian foraging societies. He found something strange. These groups weren't passive about dishonesty. They had an entire toolkit for handling it, and almost none of it involved violence, at least not at first. It started with gossip. Gossip sounds small. It sounds petty, even. But Boehm's research suggests gossip was one of the most powerful enforcement tools our ancestors ever developed. If someone lied, cheated, or hoarded resources, word spread fast. Reputation was currency. And a damaged reputation could mean the difference between being fed during a hard winter and being quietly left behind. Robin Dunbar, an evolutionary psychologist at Oxford, has argued that gossip itself may be one of the reasons human language evolved in the first place. Not to describe the weather, not to name tools, to track who could be trusted. Dunbar's research suggests that up to 2/3 of everyday conversation, even now, in your life, is still about other people. Who did what? Who said what? Who can't be relied on? You think you're just catching up with a friend. You're running an ancient reputation tracking system that kept your ancestors alive, but gossip was only the first layer. If it didn't work, the group escalated. Public shaming came next. And this wasn't subtle. In many documented foraging societies, a person caught in repeated deception would be mocked, openly, in front of everyone. Their lie would be repeated back to them as a joke, twisted until it became something the whole camp laughed about. Humiliation, it turns out, is not a modern invention. It is an ancient tool, precise and effective, because it attacks the one resource your ancestors could not survive without. Belonging. Think about that for a second. Modern punishment often means taking something away. Money, freedom. Ancient punishment meant something closer to a slow social death. Ostracism. Ostracism is one of the most studied concepts in evolutionary psychology, and for good reason. Kipling Williams, a social psychologist who has spent his career researching this exact phenomenon, has shown that being excluded from a group activates regions of the brain overlapping with physical pain. Not metaphorically, literally, your brain, in some real sense, cannot fully tell the difference between a broken bone and a broken bond. For a hunter-gatherer caught lying repeatedly, ostracism could start small. Fewer people would share their fire. Fewer people would include them in a hunt. And if the lying continued, if the person proved themselves a genuine threat to the group's survival, exile was the final step. Being cast out of the band, alone, without allies, without the collective knowledge and protection of the group. Here's the part that should stop you. Exile in the ancestral environment was often a death sentence, not a punishment. An execution, just a slower and quieter one. No weapon, no blood, just distance. This is why your body reacts the way it does when you're excluded. Even now, even over something as small as not being invited to a group chat. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a modern slight and an ancient death sentence. It reacts as if your survival depends on being let back in. Because for most of human history, it did not so think again about that heat in your chest when someone lies to you. That isn't random. That's your ancestors' oldest alarm system, still wired into you, still screaming the same message it screamed 100,000 years ago. This person is a threat to the group. Do something. But here's the twist almost nobody talks about. Ancient punishment for lying wasn't only about revenge. It was rehabilitative. Bones research emphasizes something modern people often miss. Foraging societies didn't usually want to destroy the liar. They wanted to correct them. Full exile was rare, reserved for the most persistent, most dangerous offenders. Most people, after enough gossip, enough public shame, enough social pressure, changed their behavior and were let back in. Why? Because every single person in the group was valuable. Losing a member wasn't just symbolic. It meant fewer hunters, fewer gatherers, fewer eyes watching for danger. Exile was a last resort, not a first instinct. This tells you something important about the mechanism itself. Ancient social punishment wasn't designed purely for cruelty. It was designed for correction, calibrated carefully to bring people back into line without losing them entirely, which is exactly what shame still tries to do inside you. Even now. It doesn't feel good. It isn't supposed to. It's supposed to be uncomfortable enough that you change, and mild enough that you survive the correction. Now bring this back to your modern life. You still gossip. You still shame. You still, on some level, fantasize about someone who wronged you being cast out, publicly, completely. Online call-outs, cancellation, group chats dissecting someone's betrayal in forensic detail. It can look shockingly similar to what a hunter-gatherer band would have done around a fire 50,000 years ago, just with a different stage and a much larger audience. The difference is scale. Your ancestors' gossip reached 50 people. Yours can reach 50 million. The mechanism hasn't changed. The reach has. There's a researcher worth naming here too. Sarah Matthew, an anthropologist at Arizona State University, has studied how cooperation and punishment co-evolved in early human groups, and her work suggests something crucial. The willingness to punish cheaters, even at a personal cost, may have been one of the key traits that allowed large-scale human cooperation to exist at all. Someone had to be willing to call out the liar. Someone had to be willing to risk the awkwardness, the confrontation, the social cost, so the whole group could keep trusting each other. That willingness lives in you too. That instinct to say something when you catch a lie, even when it would be easier to stay quiet, is not a personality quirk. It's an inheritance dot, so the next time someone lies to you, and your chest tightens, and you feel that pull to tell someone else, understand what's actually happening. You are not overreacting. You are not being petty. You are running code written by tens of thousands of years of small bands who depended entirely on trust to survive the night. The lie itself may be small. A missed deadline blamed on traffic. A story that doesn't quite add up. But the alarm it sets off inside you was built for something much bigger. It was built for a world where dishonesty could mean the difference between the tribe eating and the tribe starving, between belonging and exile, between life and a quiet. Forgotten death outside the FIRELIGHT. Someone in your life has lied to you. And something ancient inside you already knew exactly what to do about it, long before you did.